Hey everyone, I'm Hugh Sweeney and this is the brand new Micro 2 slider from ZEAPON Tech. Gravity, it's not motorized. Right, welcome back to another video folks. Now in this day and age with all the camera gear that's available as we approach 2020, it's very hard to get excited about small little manual camera sliders. But as soon as I mounted this on the tripod here, I immediately liked it, and there's a couple of reasons why. ZEAPON Tech is actually a pretty cool name, and I like the branding, and it was all nicely packaged. It arrived with the Easy Lock 2, which I'll get to very soon. It's an accessory that goes with the Micro 2 slider. First up, as soon as I got my hands on it, I noticed that it was very well built, incredibly solid, nice componentry in there, and the whole thing was very rigid with no movement at all, no play. It's obviously got a really nice bearing system in there, which works incredibly well. The damping is excellent. Even if you let it slide on its own with gravity like that, the slide is totally even and consistent, which means that you can actually do a lot of slides like that without using your hands, which I think is pretty awesome. It really maximizes its small footprint. The actual slider itself is only about 13 inches long, but it will let you slide a total distance of about 21 inches. About 54 centimeters. Now, unless you're doing a really incredibly cinematic camera move, 21 inches or 54 centimeters is quite a decent slide, particularly if you have something close to the camera and you're sliding past it, like a tree or something like that. 21 inches is going to give you a good slide. And the fact that, it only goes a couple of inches beyond the center point here, it just really remains solid on your tripod. You're not going to worry about it falling over. It's really sturdy, and I love that about this slider. And you could find yourself actually just having it on the tripod and just still doing your pan, your tripod work. You could do your pretty cool stuff like that that you mightn't always do with other sliders. I wouldn't do stuff like that with the Rhino slider in a hurry, but because it takes up such a small footprint, you can keep it on there all the time and use your tripod as you normally would. So that's fantastic. It sets up in a couple of seconds. This has to be the quickest slider yet to set up. It's also incredibly compact. It comes in a lovely little neoprene case, and it's going to take up very little space in your bag. So it's the kind of slider that you can bring with you anywhere, even on holidays or vlogging, stuff like that, where you don't want to be lugging around a big heavy slider. When ZEAPON sent me the Micro 2 slider, they also sent me this thing right here, which is called the Easy Lock. And they sent this little ball head fixture as well for mounting your camera. The legs unfold a little bit like a Mavic, and it ends up looking something like this. So this device is obviously designed to let your slider mount on top of it and do low down slides on the ground. I'm not fully convinced about this device here because it's quite limited in that, you can't adjust it laterally. I think if they made a sort of a rigid ball and socket type 3-way tripod rather than four points like this with little legs you gotta keep straight, I think it'd be more effective. Now it's got a little plate here as well, which lets you fit this onto your tripod. And I will say that slips out very easy when you adjust that screw. So you gotta be careful if you're putting this on your tripod that you have that good and tight, because there's no locking system. And if you mount that onto your tripod, you could actually end up dropping the whole system unless that's tight at the side, so be very careful. I'd almost advise you not to use that on the tripod at all. Just use it when you want to do those low down slides. So you will be avoiding this whole thing at the bottom. So ZEAPON Tech are obviously onto a good thing with the Micro 2 slider. This is a lovely piece of kit, but like anything else, there's always room for improvement. And if they were to add a few new features, I would like one to be the ability to lock the actual head anywhere on the slider, rather than just have to lock it right in the middle where it aligns here. Another thing I'd like to see ZEAPON Tech do would be perhaps let you adjust the dampness of the slide. dampen it even a little bit more if you're using a heavy camera and if you wanted to do some gravity slides, but that's just my own personal thing. It's not really something that's important. The base plate is quite narrow, meaning that it only takes up about an inch. If it was a little bit wider and a little bit stronger there, it might be better, but it's quite narrow. I don't think that's a major problem, but lateral weight this way could put a small bit of pressure on the device itself, but as I said, it's only a small thing. Now the screw that is embedded into the actual head of the Micro 2 slider is one of those smaller screws, and you have to use an adapter if you want to fit a ball head like this onto it. I don't know why they didn't use a bigger screw that would take most tripod adapters, or indeed let you change the screw, have a system in which you could use different screws rather than it being fixed inside here. I would like to see a larger one, because what's going to happen is those little adapter screws are going to end up left in the ball head here, and you go out to do a job and it's got that adapter on it. You want to use it on your tripod, and the little adapter is stuck inside it and you're going to have to get it out, and then you might go somewhere and forget it, and then you can't mount your ball head onto the actual slider. So that's one thing that I would change about it. Now, one thing ZEAPON could probably do with a little bit of work, a little bit of engineering, is introduce a motorized system. Now, if they could release a slider that's this size, that has motors inbuilt, in which you don't need to connect an app, you don't need to connect any phone or anything, you can just literally move a few dials and get it to slide over and back, that would be absolutely brilliant, because that's what we want. We want something really quick that'll give us a quick, simple slide over and back, which would be fantastic. One thing I noticed when I was using the slider last night filming the Christmas tree here behind me was how I started practicing my focus again, and that's not something I often do. When I'm using the Rhino slider, it's electronic and you don't want to interfere with the actual motorized system, so you very rarely touch the camera when you're using it. But when I was using this last night, I was actually manually focusing on certain things there on the Christmas tree, the decorations there, and I was actually practicing my focus as I was sliding the device here, and I thought that was pretty cool, because it's been a while since I've been doing some kind of accurate focus adjustments like that. So that's something I noticed about it. I liked how manual it was, and it sort of brought me back to those days of using a manual slider. So who is the Micro 2 slider for? I would say just the general filmmaker, the person who wants to do those nice small slides. It's very compact and it's ideal for macro slides. Great for doing stuff around food or small products. It's very smooth, it's going to get you good results. It's also good if you want to do vlogs and stuff like that, and even as I said, the ability to just, you know, do it by gravity and film yourself as you're walking past. So all in all, it's just a great little filmmaking tool that's very compact. You can bring it anywhere with you. It's just great for backup as well. You know, you might have two systems. You might have an electronic slider on the go, and you might want something really small that you can just move around and get some quick slides where you don't want to set up an electronic slider. So that's it from the ZEAPON. Do check it out. It's very reasonably priced at about $200, about 200 euros here in Europe. I would recommend it. I think it's great, and I'm genuinely not just saying that because they sent it to me. I don't recommend anything unless I like it and unless I think it's good. So check it out. That is the ZEAPON Micro 2 slider, and that is all from today's video. So thanks for watching, folks. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you do. Just hit the button. It'll only take you like a nanosecond. Hit the bell as well if you want to get notifications. And most importantly, get involved in the conversation below. Leave a comment and let me know what you think of the video and my other stuff. From now until the next video, I wish you all a really awesome new year. It's almost 2020. It's hard to believe. And there's so much amazing camera gear coming out at the moment. So just the main thing is get out there in 2020 and shoot some awesome videos. Get inspired, inspire others, and be creative. And for myself, Hugh Sweeney, until the next video, it's over and out from me, and goodbye.